Hi, welcome to Cape Conversations. I am standing in a garage and you're asking yourself why. Well, in a few minutes you're going to find out. Come along, let's have a Cape Conversation. Alright, here I am sitting in a former car wash with three good-looking young men. How lucky is this gal today on a rainy Cape Cod day? I am sitting here with
Chris Dalton.
And
John Catalano.
And
Blake Pettypaw.
And you're all from?
Cape Auto Washing Detail.
Right. And where do you all live?
I'm from Milton, Mass originally. I live here in Sandwich now.
You do?
Yeah.
And
I grew up in Sandwich.
You
right
did?
down the street, yeah.
Yeah? And did you graduate from Sandwich High School?
Yes, I did.
And
2008.
So, in 2000?
The class of 2008, yeah.
Right. And so this means that you are a person that has gone on to do something really good and fun and on your own business.
You could say that, yeah. I mean, I enjoy doing it. I mean, I've always been a car enthusiast, so I enjoy detailing cars.
And who's the fine fellow, Mr. Pettypaw, next to you?
And he was introduced to me through my younger brother.
Is that right?
Yeah,
And so how long have you worked here?
About 4 months now.
4 months, yeah? Are they working hard?
Yeah, they do.
Is that right?
We did a test.
Yeah, is that right? And you're from East Sandwich?
East Sandwich, yep. Grew up here. I just graduated class 2011.
Wow. That's a good class to come from, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you going to go on to school or are you going to take a year off?
Yeah, I'm going to school in Quincy next year.
Oh, you are? Where are you going?
Eastern Nazarene College.
Excellent. So tell me now, tell me all about why, I mean, here was this old building sitting here, then Earl's Car Wash, right?
yes.
And so you were two young guys and you go, gosh, I got nothing to do today, let's open a car detailing place, what happened?
Well, actually, originally I was doing it out of my truck for a number of years, as soon as I graduated high school. And I saw this place was for lease, and I decided to give it a shot. He was detailing over in Picasset and Bourne. And we know each other. We met each other through, just knowing each other, knowing
the detailing
businesses.
community.
Yeah. And so we decided to merge businesses, and that's how we came to work with each other. We've been working for about a year together now.
Wow. Yeah. John in fact opened it up in May of 2010.
Yes.
So we're going to open for roughly 16 months or so.
Yeah, I've got a question for you. I mean, first of all, I'm going to ask you a question later about why car detailing. But what, did you come out with a business plan? Did you come together and say, gee, I'm going to do this,
Well, my experience it was more or less coincidental how I got into it. I was originally in computer software and I got laid off about 2 years ago. And I kind of did it as a side job, and quickly it evolved into more or less a steady business.
So did you do a truck like John did?
Actually, I rented a garage in Picasset in Bourne, village in Bourne, and I had a lot of success immediately, and it evolved in the business pretty quickly, and I hired a couple people, and then John and I met, and we merged, and quickly we've become a well-known company here in Sandwich.
Originally, yeah, I had it all planned out on my computer, how I was going to go about it, and I figured the best way to, well actually Sandwich Enterprise came and I had an article in the newspaper that boosted the
oh,
business.
Free advertising, don't we love that?
It was perfect, just like today this works out great. Yeah. So that boosted the business for me, it gave me like a kickstart. And then from there, it's just word of mouth.
Yeah.
We try to do a good job with every car.
Right.
Try to get everybody's 100% guaranteed.
Sure.
And so far, I mean, we haven't had any upset customers.
That's great.
So it's worked out perfectly.
So the word of mouth
is traveled, and so
good
one
news
person
travels
tells another
fast, bad
person.
news faster.
Exactly.
Yeah, a large majority of our customer base, would be as a result of a reference.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great. So now tell me though, why car detailing? I mean, in this time when there are so many people unemployed, I mean, you guys listen to the news, I'm sure, and hear about college kids can't get jobs, and although look here, you've helped the economy by hiring a recent graduate of Sandwich High School. That's a good thing. They can't get jobs, they can't find things. is this what kind of made you go, hey, listen, I can make this into a real business? Or, I mean, you were laid off, so maybe you're the perfect example of being entrepreneurial and saying, hey, I gotta find to do something. You know?
Yeah, immediately right off the bat, I noticed the pattern. With the economy being pretty bad, I still noticed a steady flow of, customers. And, a vehicle is probably the, second largest asset that someone might have, opposed to, a home. So, it's such a small price to pay for such a large investment. For instance, restore the car back to that condition, just a fraction of the price. So I think people, although the economy is bad, people want to maintain the value of their car.
How many people are buying new cars these days?
Right,
So people are trying to preserve the value of the vehicles.
Sure. Well, I've also heard too that if you want to sell your car or you want to turn it in,
absolutely.
to have it detailed before you take it to the dealer.
The resale value is definitely a huge thing. People come here and they'll get their cars detailed and flip the car and make a couple $100 over the Kelley Blue Book value, which is nowadays, which is pretty good if you're selling a car.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of people that come through here once they're about to sell their car, and we actually work on behalf of a few auto dealerships and used car dealerships and so forth. So that's a very common thing to do.
Oh, excellent,
Yep.
excellent. So now tell me, okay, so here I am. Actually, you guys detailed my car, which was great, and it looks great. And tell me though, why detail your car other than maybe resale value? Does it help keep it longer, preserve it? What does it do?
Absolutely. It preserves.
Because my car used to look like a dumping inside. So.
Well, basically, there's like 5 essentials. The paint. You want to maintain and protect the paint.
Yeah.
Detailing your car is almost parallel to changing oil or changing spark plugs in your car. If you want to, underneath the paint is metal, and ultimately, if you don't protect the paint, the end result will be corrosion. It'll affect the chassis of the car and so forth.
Once it
preservation of the car is the #1 reason, and for aesthetic reasons is another reason, and ultimately the #1 determining factor to when reselling a car. For top dollar is the condition it's in. Most people, believe it or not, they don't care how the car runs. They just want a clean car, right?
Exactly. That's true.
Well, especially here, because we get, on Cape Cod, we're pretty fortunate because they cut back on salt. But sand can really do it to your car.
Absolutely. Especially the paint. That's why it's so vital to put a nice thick coat of wax on. Yeah, especially before the winter season. And after the winter season as well,
Which is coming up.
Yeah, exactly. It's very important. We stress that, especially.
Yeah.
Chris, it was you that ran your hand over my car and said, oh, yeah. And you said it had a little bit of sand, it was sand damage. You said, feel this. And so I did, and it was rough. And unfortunately, I've been in 2 car accidents. So I had some new metal on my car, not my fault accidents. By the way, they weren't my fault, people. It's true though, there was a difference.
Yeah.
There was a definite difference before and after.
Yeah. Yeah, over time, the paint collects pollutants and, it adheres to the paint, and that's what you felt on the surface of your car. It was just, sands.
It's the salty ocean air, and the rain, combination of both. The acid rain is another key. Thing that does a lot of damage to, especially black cars, darker cars.
Right.
You can see water spots that just won't come off. Run through the car wash. That eventually needs to be compounded. That's what we do here. We compound everything.
I see. Now, do you make him do all that hard work?
Oh no.
we split it up pretty evenly.
You do. Okay. So they don't always make you do all that hard rubbing and the
Debatable.
the buffing.
Blake's responsible for a number of tasks. He's a very good worker.
I tend to specialize in the interiors.
Okay, so you're the nitty-gritty guy.
Yeah, and you make a good point, because the interior is just as important as the exterior to address. We do a thorough job in the interior, cleaning all the cracks and crevices and removing any potential toxins within the air.
Yeah.
Deodorizing it, people have pets or people that smoke. We really recondition the interior of a car back to that new feel,
Wow.
minus any obvious wear and tear.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
I mean, we even go as far as taking a Q-tip to inside the air vents and
Right.
whatnot. You know, we
So
get
you
inside
really
all
get
the
the
cracks
dust.
and crevices that you can't get to with the just like a rag.
Well, how many times have you gone from one season to the next and you turn on either the heat or the air conditioning and out
Everything
comes
blows
this
up.
poof
Yep.
Yeah.
of stuff as you start freezing and hacking and coughing,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I understand.
yeah, we have actually a
It works.
technique that we actually use an air compressor, and we use certain chemical to diffuse the system and remove any toxins and so forth to prevent that.
Flush it.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
flush, that's the word, I was looking for, flush the system.
Oh, wow.
Um, Yeah, it's very, especially around pollen season too, like
Yeah.
when all that stuff starts falling on the car, it
Yeah.
starts getting, going through the fan of the car, yeah, it just
Yeah.
ruins the car. The inside is,
So you leased this building in 2010,
that was
Correct.
that's right, and did you lease from the Earl family, I presume, or from somebody else?
Actually, the Earls don't own this lot
Is
anymore.
that, oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Regan, he owns this whole lot here.
Yeah.
He doesn't own the Marshman restaurant, but he owns like the property.
Oh, I can.
So yeah, that's what we
Oh,
lease it from, yeah.
excellent.
We have, some goals in mind. I
You want to get more Blakes.
yeah, actually Blake's gonna be going off to college, so we're gonna have
Yeah,
to
so now you-
fill his shoes
So,
soon,
so
yeah.
we're hiring if you want to hire us to do
But ultimately,
That's
I
great.
I definitely categorize this, location as a success. Ultimately, we do have, plans and, goals in mind of, potentially opening up a new location, maybe further down the Cape, like we discussed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
To
towards the
grow and
Hyannis.
expand.
Yeah, we were thinking actually even further down Cape,
Right.
towards Provincetown.
Yeah.
It's, detail shop
East
tomorrow
End,
that's non-existent,
Borough.
yeah.
Yeah. And there's all those people that live in the witness protection program down there that you never see, but we all know they're there.
Yeah.
A lot of them
Yes.
have some money in their pockets and,
Absolutely.
so
Yep.
they're probably like to get their car keys.
Yeah.
All right, so here I am, I brought in the car, we've got a car behind us here. What was the first thing you did when this car was brought in?
Well, the first thing we did was initially we have to clean the exterior of the vehicle, and then what we do is we're gonna clay bar it, and that's gonna remove all the outside grime and remove all the roadside, tar, bugs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna kind of create that nice smooth feel, and then we hit it with the buffer, and we hit it with glaze and compound. It's a mixture of both, and we remove all the blemishes and the paint, give it that nice smooth feel. And also, that mirror effect, and then
Yeah.
we seal it with a coat of wax.
Oh, wow.
And that's like the exterior process, pretty much, in a nutshell.
Okay, and what about the windows? I have the worst time getting the interior of my windows cleaned because I drive a little Volvo
Yep.
and it's very smoky. And somebody said, don't use Windex.
Well,
Use something else.
if you use a little trick that I learned over the years, we have special rags that we use that we get from our product supplier. A little trick that I learned over the years, though, was if you use newspaper.
It really works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Use a wet newspaper and a dry newspaper.
A wet of what?
You could spray a little Windex on it and wipe
Uh-huh.
it down, and then hit it with the dry newspaper, and that remove all the streak marks and whatnot.
It will.
Absolutely.
Better
Yeah.
than paper towel.
It's better than a paper
Yes.
towel, absolutely. I
Okay.
can guarantee that.
That's a good trick. That's something good to know.
Blake, do you have anything to add about the windows? You've been spending a lot of time on the windows. You might be our expert here.
Well, we don't actually use newspapers here. We use
Yeah.
a microfiber towel and
Well, that's not a microfiber towel, but that's what we use for the interior. It's a special type of towel.
yeah.
We're not really sure what it is.
There's
Oh,
a number of
it's a
different.
secret towel. They're not going to give out
I can
that.
actually grab one for you if you want to feel it.
Windows seem like the most. It seems like a simple process, but believe it or not, there's a lot more involved.
Well, it's like at the street.
Yeah, it's certainly not rocket science, but there is like a technique that we more or less perfected. But they can be tough. We could spend.
So you don't use a squeegee.
No, we don't. We use a combination of different regs that have different absorbency levels and so forth, and we use certain chemicals. But it's we could spend 3 or 4 hours on a car, perfecting every component and not getting the windshield perfect and ruin the job, because it's the first thing the customer notices. So we spend extra time. We put Blake to work getting those
I do my
windshields
best.
down pat.
Okay, now Blake, tell me, what's the oddest thing, you do interiors primarily, what's the oddest thing that you can tell us on air that you found in a car?
I
Something
found
that's
it.
not X-rated.
Yeah. Have you found anything, first of all, have you found anything
comment.
X-rated?
No comment.
Okay,
I've come across a
Keep the
few items.
confidentiality.
I've definitely come across a few items.
Yeah.
like what? Not
I,
X-rated.
yeah, I don't think it'd be appropriate on this.
Well, I can tell you a couple of things that I've seen. Diapers, stuff underneath seats.
Dirty ones?
diapers, yeah.
Oh my golly.
You know, the worst is minivans with the little kids and
Oh,
they
yeah.
throw the lollipops and the fries. And that's one of the toughest things, you know. We have to,
crayons.
they destroy
Crayons,
us.
yeah.
They're the number one culprit.
How much money do you find?
We sometimes, I mean, it really depends. Usually we'll find some change under the seat, and you know, whatever we find, we'll put it in a cup holder for
Yes.
the customer and whatnot.
Yeah, we do come across a lot of money.
Yeah.
We found up to $70 before, like. just
Yeah,
under
what'd
people's
you
necks.
do with that $70? Like,
Give it back to the
yeah,
lady.
you
I
did.
know,
Of
right.
course.
But why would she have $70 under her mat?
That's what we asked her. She didn't.
Yeah,
have
she
it.
was surprised. She was surprised, but we did find a $50 and a $20 bill. We
Yeah.
put in a couple. I was very surprised.
Wow.
Yeah, just some people are not, you know, some people just don't pay attention to what they
Yeah.
have in their pockets and it'll fall down the side and the cracks, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, it's happened to me a number of times in my car. So I mean, that's the only reason I could figure out my.
Yeah, but I can't imagine somebody putting a dirty diaper underneath.
I just like little kids kick. I don't know. I
Yeah.
honestly don't know. you
Yeah.
know? It's just, that's
Well,
one of the most
I bet you
bizarre
get-
things I've ever seen.
A lot of sand.
Yes.
Yeah. Sand is
Sand.
Sand and dog hair. Those are our two biggest
animals.
opponents. Yeah. but we
The
have.
enemy is the dog hair.
Well, we have certain techniques in which, you know, I don't know if you get it in camera view, but we have an air compressor. That's, you
Yeah.
know, an absolute vital necessity when dealing with the sand and the dog hair.
Yeah.
The dog hair, depending on the type of dog, can get really stuck in the carpets and so forth, so it can be pretty tricky. But customers have expectations. We have to meet those expectations. So one of my favorite parts of the job, and the most rewarding parts, is you know, the customer's reaction once we complete the car.
Sure.
Because some customers just assume over time the car is supposed to degrade in its look,
Right.
which is not necessarily true. As a result, the elements that can be oxidation of paint, so it can get decayed and so forth. But we are really experts in reconditioning cars and getting them back to that new feel.
Yeah.
You know, minus any, you know, obvious wear and tear like dents and.
Now, I heard at one time there was something, like a spray that you could get that new car smell. Is that true?
The best thing that I can think of, you know, for people at home who want to get that new car scent. I don't
Besides
suggest.
bringing it here.
Yeah, besides bringing it here, of course. You know, I don't suggest buying those little trees, is what they call them.
Yeah.
Those don't. Yeah, those have a
It's
stench
terrible.
to
It smells like a
them.
men's room, bathroom, and don't even ask me why I'm in there.
Yeah, it's the best thing I could think of at home would be to buy Febreze, the auto
Yeah?
Febreze.
Oh, really?
And
Febreze works excellent.
they have a special formula for cars, and
They do.
if you spray that in the car, it will smell fantastic.
Oh, great.
Like I said, we have a supply guy, so we get all supplies from a source, an
So-
unknown source.
So, but it's a professional car.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, we use a deodorizer, a special chemical in it. We use it especially for smokers too.
Oh,
Say-
yeah.
Or ex-smokers who just recently quit and want to get that smell out of their car. you
Which
know?
is tough.
Yeah,
That's really
absolutely, yeah.
So, okay, so now you're going to expand down Cape. Do we know when we're going to do that?
Well, initially we were thinking of the spring of 12.
Yeah.
12.
But you got to find a location?
There's a couple locations that we do have in mind. We've spoke with the landlords and, you know, we're negotiating on one location right now.
Great.
And, I don't know, it really depends.
So you
Yeah,
could,
down-
Blake could go down and live in the lower Cape, you could maybe have a little
Yeah, we-
house in the back.
Yeah, we could put them in Provincetown or something like that.
Yeah, we run the Provincetown, sure.
There.
No, that really, there is a demand down there.
Of course
There's
there would
a
be.
huge demand down there. There's, you know, it's obviously seasonal down there. If anyone's familiar with the area, you know, in the winter it could, you know, it drops significantly in population. But in the summer, we get that rush, and you know, people have the money, the disposable income to
Second
spend.
homeowners.
Exactly.
And all those
Yep.
things. Now, do you get people from other towns besides Sandwich? Do you get like
Oh, yeah.
Mashpee and?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mashpee, Bourne, Barnstable, especially like West Barnstable.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we generally get, I'd say within like a 10, 15 mile radius. And the reason why it's expanded to that size is we offer drop-off and pickup service at no extra charge. Yeah, so we make the process as seamless as possible for our customers. They'll pick up their car, we'll drop it off.
Shuttle service.
Yep. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Oh, good, that's excellent. Well, I think it's been pretty good. I think we're sitting here with 3 entrepreneurs, maybe 2.5 entrepreneurs. We got a worker bee here who's going to become an entrepreneur when he gets out of college. I want to thank you guys today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Great.
I appreciate it.
I'll tell you though, I don't think people understand how important it is, as you brought, for resale value, and as you guys brought up, for resale value.
Trade-in value.
Trade-in value. And also just for sanitary purposes, to have your car cleaned, once a year at least.
Yeah, your vehicle is your second largest investment that you're going to make typically,
Right.
So, people want to maintain that. You pay a lot of money for a car, you want to make sure, you get a lot of life out of it,
That's
Yeah.
excellent.
And,
Go ahead.
oh no, and that's why I was just going to point out is that's why we have such competitive rates here.
Yeah.
There's a number of
So what are your rates? Because I didn't ask that question. I probably shouldn't ask that question.
Well, it really depends. We have packages really to fit any budget.
Like we were talking about, dog hair is a number one. Canines are a number one enemy.
So it's a little bit more. We've got two black labs in the back with the screen across. It might be a little bit more.
Absolutely.
And if you're a 75-year-old woman who drives a Prius.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we're gonna it all depends. We have to look at the vehicle, but we have very general prices that you can look at our website. CapeAutoDetail.com, and we got a list of all the prices.
That's great. You guys are on top of it then.
Yeah, it's
You get
going
your
well.
business acumen going.
It's going real well.
That's great. That's
Very happy
wonderful.
with that.
It's been fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, good.
But
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Melinda.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you, Mr. Workman. Thank you for joining me here at Cape Auto Detailing, right on Route 6A in what I like to think of as downtown Sandwich. Wasn't it interesting to find out, number one, that it helps with your resale value, and it also helps when you do a trade-in to have your car looking good. And the other thing, isn't it nice to know that there are still entrepreneurial young men out there saying, hey, look, I lost my job, but I'm going to make myself a new one. I think that's the American spirit. So it was a great conversation today. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you next time for a Cape Conversation.